And we're live.
Hooray.
All right. Welcome back, everyone.
Hello. Special
Hi.
Friday edition.
Special Friday edition indeed. Yeah, that's mostly because my mom was in town all week, which was awesome. Although there is definitely a nice... I am looking forward to being able to like sleep in my own bed because I've been on the couch. And then she showed up the day after I got back from my trip. So I had one night in my bed.
Yeah.
And then I was on the couch for like, a week or whatever, however long it was. So now I can finally get back into my actual routine.
Nice. How was visiting with the mom?
It was good. Lots of home cooked meals, lots of leftovers I get to take for lunch the following day. It was awesome. She definitely mommed it up, cleaned my apartment for me, did laundry.
Nice.
Cannot complain for sure.
Nice.
But what about you guys? What have you been up to in the last week?
Home renovation.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we actually I thought I was going to be late for this meeting or for the podcast because we had a meeting tonight at 6 where we were going to meet with our contractor. He was going to work on our a plan for our patio, and also we were going to meet with a guy who was going to work on our kitchen. But they got scheduled to tomorrow. So tomorrow afternoon we're getting both of those dealt with. At least started. So
okay.
What are you doing to each of them?
The back patio is rotting apart because the previous owners didn't take care of it, so we're just getting a new one built.
All right. Is it going to look the exact same, or are you getting
God, no. Like the one they have, there is like 2 people can stand on it comfortably, and that's about it.
Oh,
so we're gonna have an actual patio. Yeah,
that
like
sounds more of
like
a staircase.
It's more like an entryway staircase. Yeah, like it was not meant for. It's not a patio. It's just basically an entryway. So we're like, yeah, we'll fix it.
So you can have big ones. You can get like a big barbecue on there, classic backyard style.
I think it's time to learn how to do a BQ.
Wow, nice. Propane.
Hooray! I can be the Hank Hill I've always dreamed of.
Yep.
I do miss
the kitchen? What are you doing there?
We're getting all the counters redone. We're getting them replaced with quartz. So instead of, I think they're laminate right now, they're starting to like peel up a bit. So we'll get some nice new stuff on there, which will actually be able to take some damage and be okay.
Take some damage. What are you doing in the kitchen, man?
Stabbing things, obviously.
I guess so. Directly onto the counter.
Well, like to be fair, currently as it stands, like cutting like a slice of bread is already damaging it. So,
are you cutting your food directly on the counter? Because I was joking.
No.
Okay.
Like that's how bad it is. Like it goes through the vibration, goes through the cutting board and just does damage.
Oh, weird. I'm picturing your it's just held up by twigs and tape.
It's not that bad, thankfully, but it's bad.
All right, Paul. Anything going on with you?
No, not a whole lot.
Okay, well, let's do the show then. Top Down Perspective for September 20th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
And why don't we go with Paul? What have you been playing?
Yeah, so this is what I've actually been doing this week, as you can tell by my list.
A lot of games.
I played Super Kirby Clash because that thing looked like Baby Monster Hunter, and it's kind of the same. It is kind of that. It's like the very basic idea of you getting together with some friends and smacking something that is hard to kill by yourself a whole bunch until it dies, and then you get rewards for it. So it was fun.
But you're not like hunting down the monsters or anything, right?
No, you're just being thrown into like the battle arena with it right away.
It's like a boss fight.
Yeah, exactly. And that thing seems totally fine, totally fun. There's like a bell you ring every 24 hours that kind of brings a bunch of random user-generated AI companions that you can like, I keep wanting to say hunt, but that you can do the fights with to replace like just your normal like player 1, player 2 like AI controlled dudes. So like for example, from our audience, I recognized Comet Strider and Tenmar, and I got them like on my team for a battle or whatever, and It's just like an AI controlling what their stats were, basically. But I did find out that that's a little outdated, that like copy you get of them, because Comet had said, I said like, I got your dude, and he was like level 45 to help me with like my level 2 battle. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm level 50 something now. I'm like, holy shit. Okay.
So you have to like manually upload your
I don't
ghost
know.
or whatever?
I don't know what it does. It probably pulls it every maybe 24 hours or something, I would assume. Like probably every like set amount of time, because it seems like the image you get of the people is like a little outdated, but it's what it is.
You can only the bell is how you play the level, so you can't play it whenever you want.
You can play it whenever you want with just like normal AI dudes or whatever that are kind of stupid, but they have a role and they just do it. Like the mage character will always just throw a bunch of like mage shit from afar, and the melee ones will just run up and smack it, but they don't do anything like special. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the real fun for this is playing with people, which you can do almost right away, so that's good. It seems like sorry,
it's a free to start game, I think they called it.
Yeah, so it seems like what they mean by free to start is that it's actually just a free to play game, but some of the battles as you go on are locked behind what are they, like gem apples in this, which is like the currency that you get from, you can collect some every, I think 12 hours, maybe 8 hours or something in game. You get like 3. There's codes online that you can redeem for like a bunch of free ones or whatever, and you get them as like prizes here and there as well. But they're also the thing you can buy, and I think that's where the free to start thing comes in, because you start unlocking harder fights that take more apples to unlock to play. So like from what I've heard, it sounds like if there's a code going out on right now, which is just the name, it's like Kirby Clash or something. So if you're playing that, put that in the code thing, all caps. It gives you like 50, and apparently that's going to take you through for a long time as long as you don't continuously fail battles. So, yeah.
So it sounds like it's just free, and they're just like they don't want to say that. Use that term.
Nintendo doesn't like the term free to play, and maybe rightfully so. There's kind of a stigma with it, so free to start is what they say.
For sure. I just remember when they first came out with free to start, it was Mario Run.
Yeah.
And that was a little differently, because it didn't have your typical free to play mechanics. It was straight up like, here's like the first world.
Yeah.
And then if you want the rest of it, you can just buy the rest of the game. So that worked a little differently than your typical free to play game.
And I was
this
a little
just sounds
worried.
like it is a free to play game.
I was worried that this would be kind of similar, because when you start leveling up, you see like level 2 out of 10 or level 3 out of 10. And it's always out of 10, and then I'm like, oh shit, here's where it is, right? I'm gonna have to buy this game as soon as I hit level 10. No, as soon as I hit level 10, it's like, you can get up to 20 now, or whatever. So it's like, okay, this... And have gotten confirmation that it is a free game, as long as you're willing to wait for more gem apples if you run out, or buy them. Like,
sounds like a free-to-play game.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know that it's worth playing so much that you'll run out of apples, because I was getting them all the freaking time. But if this is the only game you're playing, I guess you could probably go through them pretty quick.
Sure.
It's fun. I think it's something everybody should maybe download and try a little bit of. It's a Kirby game, so it's easy, but it's not as stupidly easy as I've heard that Star Allies game is. Like, I actually have had to move out of the way of attacks or like risk dying. So like, it's not that dumb, like easy, but it's still nothing crazy. This is the type of thing that, like, if somebody was like, what's Monster Hunter like, but I don't want to like divulge like 200 hours into it, this is like the perfect idea of what that loop is like, what it feels like to play those games.
Or just play Dauntless.
Well, Dauntless
is also free.
Dauntless is still very much more involved than this. If you just want the very basic like feeling of the loop, this is it. You fight a thing and then get some rewards with your friends. So, and yeah, it's good for that. The next game is, I struggle to call a game. It's more like a weird music.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm interested in this game.
This is almost like a weird music visualizer that has some interactivity, like a web browser almost, or something, with an avatar in it. So it's called Kind Words. There's actually like a full title. It's like Kind Words Lo-Fi Beats to Chill To or something.
Yeah, no, it's a spoof on the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
It's close to that. I can't remember the exact thing.
It's something like that, yeah. And what this is when you log in, you are given a character in a little like square cutout diorama type room where your character is sitting at a desk writing letters. And the idea is this is supposed to be an interactive thing where people playing the game write out problems they're having or things that they're struggling with or like ideas or whatever, putting them out into the world, and then you write back your advice, your opinions, or any.
It's all anonymous, right?
And it's it's kind of anonymous. Yeah, it has just your first letter of whatever name you chose. So I didn't want to choose my actual name, so I chose my online name, and every one of my letters was signed -E. So like instead of like exposure.
Because you thought P might find you, someone might dox you off that.
No, but I didn't know how they were dealing with it.
Okay.
So like
how before you knew.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, seems a little weird to just put my name on like some of this advice.
But it's signed E with all 5 of your fingerprints on there. So
yeah, exactly, and my blood sketchy type. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm of two minds about this thing. Okay, so first of all, I should go ahead and say that what this ends up becoming is a lot of people venting about very personal things. It's like there was this old site, I don't know if it's still around, called Post Secret.
Where people... I was just thinking about that. I was going to say, like, this just seems like Post Secret, the game. It is still around.
Okay, so what Post Secret is, for anybody who doesn't know, is people would grab a postcard or make a postcard, write a secret on it that they don't want other people to know, or that something that's been bothering them, or just some thoughts or whatever, and send it to a P.O. box, and then they would post it on the internet. And then it became more digital over the years or whatever, so people could do it easier. And then this is basically that, but you can respond to it. So it's like Post Secret if Post Secret had a reply button, essentially. What this leads to, and this is what scares me a little bit, is a lot of people that I think are using this as a crutch for real mental health issues, and it's depressing. So there's 2 types of people that use this thing. The first type are, I broke up with my boyfriend, but I think I still love them. I just need somebody to tell me it's going to be okay or whatever. And you're like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. Everything seems harder when you're a kid. Whatever. It's like kind of like little problems like that. But then there's the other side, which there were a few people that are just like, I'm going to like blow my head off and stuff. It's like, well, fucking seek help. Like, what the fuck are you doing using this thing? Oh my god. So that shit bugs the hell out of me, and this has been like a flycatcher for that.
I guess the other side of that is like, maybe this is a good first step. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Except like the first step admitting they have the problem.
Yeah, something that, or like at least you're talking to something.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Because then on the other hand, it's like, there's a good chance this could just be fake, and they're just trying to like put weird stuff out there.
Sure.
Which at that point, it's like, why did you spend $5 on this game to like troll anonymously someone anonymous? Like it's like you went really out of your way to do like the lowest level of troll, and it's like, so why? But
yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I think the intent of it is a positive one.
The intent is fine. People will find a way to fuck up everything, so that's not even the issue. My thing more so than anything is, it seemed like there was I should have just had on my clipboard, this sounds serious, please seek mental health or whatever, you're worth it, blah, blah,
just
blah.
Like pasting and then just, that each time.
Because some of them are just like way out there, you know? And then some of them are just like whatever. They're just like, some of them are just silly thoughts or like music quotes, and you're just like, yes, I too have heard Linkin Park. Thank you. Like,
they're brand new. They're getting out there finally.
I guess that's probably like where like the beauty of this comes from, is it's like it is just like unfiltered kind of who knows what you're gonna get.
Sure. But what's really exciting about this is that I don't know what they have for an algorithm to keep like shitters out, but it's from what I've seen, there was no like really toxic bad anything in it. And I went through a lot of letters and notes and stuff. Like a lot.
Yeah, I'm curious because theoretically, if there's not a person going through these, right?
I would
be
hope
like
not.
Too many.
Oh my god.
Well, because then you get into the territory of like you hear about the people whose job it is at Facebook to like approve videos and how they need like psychiatric health.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, checks on a monthly basis because they see the worst of humanity.
I hope somebody's not sitting in a basement just reading this depressing shit all day.
Well, I mean, except that is happening at like Google and Facebook, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I mean, specifically with this game, like,
yeah,
I doubt anyone's reading any of these. So there has to be some kind of filter in there, at least for language, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess it's probably, and again, I haven't played it yet. I definitely want to just kind of check it out. You probably have to go into it kind of knowing like, hey, maybe trigger warning, you might read some shit.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, like, would there be a way to like set up your own filters? But like at that point, they'd have to have some pretty like serious like sentence like algorithm figuring out what the person's talking about to even know what you want to filter in and out and stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure. I guess the last thing about it is that there is a little gamified thing in there where you can collect stickers that people can like give you and you can give back out to other people.
Oh shit, I'm so down for that.
So it got bad, dude. I had all the stickers but one for a while, and then I was just like, at that point it became gaming it. I put out a request.
Like, I need somebody from North Dakota to send me a message with their exclusive region sticker.
I put out a thing. Like I actually put out some like real talk shit out there because I wanted to see what type of responses I would get. And they've been mostly good. Some of them strangely tried pushing their religion a little too hard at me, but that's whatever. I
feel like that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get some stuff you want to hear, and you're gonna get some stuff you don't want to hear, and it's like that's the game.
That's just kind of it. And then my last one that I put out when I got really into just the collecting the stickers part, I'm like, I'm feeling like kind of down right now, but the deer sticker would sure, the deer sticker would sure turn me up or whatever. And then, I found out that I got a bunch of letters back saying like I want it too or whatever. And
oh man, they got some rarity, man.
I found
out that hollow foil.
We found out that that sticker specifically might only be alpha testers and the devs have, making it very rare.
Shit, man.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm ever going to get that sticker. My collection will never be complete, I guess. But yeah, I think it's a cute little thing. I think $5, right? Yeah, I think the $5 barrier to entry probably alone keeps out a lot of the shitters out of it.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good price for this.
Yeah, that seems like a good price, and it also has.
I would love this on phones. Like it's something I could just like pull out for like 20 seconds while I'm waiting for something, and just I'm gonna write a quick letter.
Sure, this is it's kind of like a weird social media that way for sure. Like it would make a good app for sure. Also,
I mean, this probably is an app. Like, let's be honest, this is probably an app.
It probably is, yeah. Also, it has this feature that you can like save a link to check on your browser or whatever if you can't open the game to see if you got any messages back, so you don't have to have it up.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like if somebody sends you a link, it'll like copy it to your clipboard, and I'm like, people are just gonna be sharing porn. Are you kidding me?
No. There's nothing like that in there. Yeah,
please check out my YouTube page.
There would be a lot of that.
It would really help a lot.
Yep, there would be a lot of that. This is true.
All right, last question. How are the lo-fi hip hop beats?
They are lo-fi and good to chill to. They do homework too.
That's good. Nice. Perfect. That's exactly what I need it for.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, this is gonna be just my breakdown of stuff I played through and finished. Eagle Island, I finished it, so it's done.
Okay.
That end boss is fun, but everything else getting up to it, my opinion hasn't changed. If you want to hear that, you need to be a TD Plus member, and you can hear us talk at.
Yeah, go check out our discussion on the game from last week. It's live now.
Yep. Green Hell, that weird survival game in the forest that I was talking about last week. I went ahead and wrapped that up this week. Actually, last night. That story's weird. That is a weird story that's going on in there. So, yeah, it probably gets my recommendation. If you like something like Subnautica, but like a much more intense with the survival mechanics, and maybe some weird like philosophical questions at the end of it in a way that Subnautica doesn't do. It's not as fun as Subnautica, but it's in that vein. I played through Blasphemous this week. The Metroidvania, Dark Souls inspired, like religious
Crying babies.
Yeah, the religious themes and stuff. That thing. It's good. It has instant death spikes, so it automatically gets -1 point out of 10 for that, because that's fucking annoying. And like most Metroidvania games, it doesn't do vertical sections very well. But it is what it is. It plays nice, and I 100%ed it, actually. I went through and got everything you can do in that game. It's fun. I played the Modern Warfare beta on the PlayStation 4, and
right on.
that took me back to like when Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out back in the day, the first one, and I just sat there playing the multiplayer forever on the PS3. It has that feel again. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it quite a bit. So much that it might actually be a buy for me now, when it was a wait before. But it just feels so good. Like it just
right. Well, I think I heard a lot of people kind of came back for this one.
Yeah, it's a return to form.
Back in Infinity Ward.
Totally. It feels like it too. Like it plays very nicely. It's very smooth. There's not a whole bunch of just like weird shitty perks and HUD stuff everywhere when you get a kill. It just like covers your screen like a bunch of spam ads or something. Like it's quite clean. Down to the point where you can play on a like deathmatch mode that is literally like called realism or hardcore or something, that takes all the HUD elements away.
Yeah, like all the HUD, right? Including like the damage markers.
Everything, yeah. Yeah, so except for if you get a UAV, it'll bring up a radar for the length of the UAV, but like then it'll go away again. It's cool. I really enjoyed it, and I want to see more of that game. I'm actually super stoked for a Call of Duty game in a way I haven't been since like Black Ops 1. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting to me. And then the thing I'm doing now is I'm playing that new chapter of Celeste, and fuck. Holy shit.
Hard, huh?
That is a difficult chapter. Wow. The first screen...
So what do you need to have beaten to get to it?
I don't know. I already had everything beaten. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain that thing. Like, here's the thing. This is the type of thing that if you think, like, the B-sides were very hard, this is too hard for you. Still.
Okay, that's me.
Okay. Because this makes the B-sides seem easy. This requires such precision and speed, it feels like a different video game than I remember. And after not playing Celeste for like a year, it's been extraordinarily hard to get. I got through 2 screens so far. Like, it's been extraordinarily hard to get that feel. And
there's like 100 levels, I think, in this pack.
I know. I'm so worried about it. So, like, I guess the chapter for this is about your granny, and you're, like, chasing a bird, is, like, the idea behind it. And that fucking bird, I don't know where he went, but goddamn, there's a lot of things that can kill you in the way.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's like Celeste.
If you like Celeste, there's more of it, and just yeah, maybe practice up a little bit if you're rusty. That's what I should have done.
Did you see the because it used to be Matt Makes Games, right? With like some
Matt
other
Thorson.
people.
Yeah.
They started a studio in like Vancouver now.
Okay.
It's called like Kinda Okay Games.
Oh, really?
I think it's a pretty good name for a game studio.
That's pretty.
They're like all together up in Vancouver now. Because I think some of them were like, I think some were in like South America and stuff. Like they were all spread out.
Oh, okay. Neat. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. So yeah, Celeste. That's what I'm doing now, but that's all I've done this week.
All right. John, you want to continue on?
For sure. Really only played one thing this week, and that's River City Girls. That is the Kunio beat 'em up brought to you by Way Forward. You play as Kunio and Ricky's girlfriends, Misako, and a girl whose name I can't remember because I'm playing as Misako.
The worst one?
Yeah. I honestly can't remember her name right now. I literally just saw it on screen a minute ago.
Oh, I think, sorry, just double backing. It's Extremely Okay Games, not Kinda Okay Games. Correction. Thank you, chat.
Nice.
I'm digging it. I'm just about done it, actually. Did most of it in one sitting, so it's not the longest game, but it's fun. Good combo potential. I'm playing it single player, which means I can't juggle between other characters, but it has been fun to play so far. Like, even in single player, the combat feels solid.
Nice.
I think we talked about this. No online. Is that right?
No online. Yeah. So the only way to play it multiplayer online is if you have the PC version and you use Parsec.
Yep.
I think somebody wrote in or put on the Discord that they announced like another River City game. That ringing any bells?
Like, there's a bunch of River City games usually in development.
What is this one called? Hang on. River City Melee Mock or Melee Match? A battle royale game featuring over 180 playable characters from the Kunio series?
Kunio
series?
Sorry, which one is this one?
I'll post it in our kind of Discord window.
Let's say, what's the name of it? Because River City Melee has been out for years.
Melee Mock. It's a battle royale coming out next month. I guess you haven't seen this. That was my initial question. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to a battle royale game. Oh, it's just the beat 'em up game. It's just the 4-player battle game. Okay.
So you did know about this?
No, they've done these a couple times.
Okay.
In fact, I think one of them's even on Steam right now.
Yeah, I didn't know if this was like how newsworthy this was. So.
Yeah, no. River City Melee Battle Royale SP is on Steam as of September 2017, and looks like this is a new one. This seems pretty similar based on this trailer I'm seeing here. But yeah, it's basically like a 2D 4-player beat 'em up.
Okay.
But you beat each other up basically. So yeah, not battle royale in the Fortnite sense, but battle royale in the Power Stone sense.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, River City Girls is good. I'm about to wrap it up. I'm like one room away from the final boss right now, I think, which means I'm gonna wait and do that after the podcast. But plays good, looks good, feels good. Some interesting decisions at times, a little grindy at times, but pretty par for the course for River City and Way Forward. So
nice.
Yeah, no, recommend it.
Did I see you were for your game clearing? Did you go back to Ori?
Yes, I am giving Ori and the Blind Forest another try.
Nice.
I would love to hear how that's like, because I remember you were just like, nah, I'm no good with Ori because it fucked out on you.
Yeah, Ori pissed me off because I played I did for this weekend, Monday's game clearing. I did Ori and the Blind Forest. I got halfway through it. Ori, when I originally played the original release, I was enjoying it, and then I got to the first escape scene, for lack of a better term, the tree escape.
Yep.
And the Xbox has this hidden feature, or it did anyways. I think that you can remove it now.
Yeah.
Where it'll record clips of your gameplay when it thinks you've done something cool, usually associated with the achievements.
Yeah, this is more like I think the developer puts this in because it doesn't happen like on every game. It happens pretty rarely, but I think the developer chooses this to happen.
Yeah, but they were Microsoft published, so that's why they probably put it in.
Right.
It made the game hitch every time, and the specific scene requires a lot of precise movement. So it was basically screwing that up, and it just soured my whole time playing that. At some point, I went back to it and kept going after that part, but then I stopped again, and I think my stream on Monday ended when I got to that exact same part, when I got the leaf.
Okay.
Okay. Are you still playing it on Xbox?
Also, I'm playing it on PC on the definitive edition, which means there was a whole new area, which we did that. We did that new area.
Yeah, I think there's actually 2 new areas, if I remember correctly.
Is there 2 new? Okay, I thought there was only 1.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I played. I thought I remembered 2, but it's like I said, it's been a while.
But the new moves they give you make you go really fast, and honestly, they're kind of cool. Like they literally give you a dash move, and you can use it in midair and everything. It's really good.
Yeah. So just like, are you an Ori fan now?
I am I still have to finish the game, but I'm definitely enjoying it more than I did previously.
Okay, cool.
We'll see if that holds out through the rest of it. But at the very least, maybe it'll get me hyped up for the sequel, because I have not been hyped up for it.
Right, yeah, I was going to say it's good timing with Will the Wisp coming out whenever that finally comes out.
February 10th, and the Switch port of Ori is in a week, I believe.
Yeah. See, I thought it was the Switch one, but then I saw that one wasn't out yet, so I was a little confused. All right, cool. That's all you've been playing, right?
Yep.
All right, Sean. Okay, let's do it.
Guys, so many games are coming out. I don't know if you knew this. So many games are coming out. But I think the first thing I want to talk about is Apple Arcade, because that came out. And
right.
We had been covering Apple Arcade as it's slowly been giving us news week after week, or whatever. I don't think anyone was prepared for how amazing Apple Arcade is.
Okay.
Because it's pretty ridiculous what is in that lineup of games. For those who don't know, Apple Arcade is I don't even want to say mobile or iOS, because you can, or in the coming updates, you're going to be able to cross-play these games on your iPad, your Apple TV, and even your Macs. So it's just like the Apple subscription service, $5 a month. You get a free month up front. So at the moment, I haven't paid anything. And they're touting 100 games. I don't know if there's 100 games yet. I think it launched with 70 something.
Wow.
But just the caliber of games that it launched with is pretty insane for like a new, I don't want to really say platform, but you kind of know what I mean.
Yeah.
So a lot of the games I hadn't known about beforehand just because they were new IPs, but once people started talking about them more, there's a new game from the Mini Metro devs that is basically Mini Metro for cars. Like, holy smokes. That is like my jam.
Yeah, that's neat.
That's substantial, right? We knew about Exit the Gungeon.
Did you try
I'm going to talk about Sayonara Wild Hearts in a bit.
Okay.
Which it is extremely good. There's a new Rayman game out there. A new game from the Monument Valley developers that I hear is very good.
Okay.
They got the Shantae game. Like, there's a ton of extremely well-made games. A new Zach Gage card battle game that I understand is very good. He's done a ton of my favorite mobile games. It's just a lot of some of my favorite mobile game developers are putting out a new game here, and it's no free-to-play stuff. That's kind of the big draw. Is for people who want to spend money on the games. So there's none of that stuff. It is just kind of what you would want if you were going to play like a solid game on your phone. And then what's also really cool is because this came out alongside iOS 13, you can Bluetooth pair an Xbox or PlayStation controller to it. So I've just been playing Sayonara Hearts on my phone with a PlayStation 4 controller.
Nice.
Like, that's great. Outland, I didn't even mention Outland's on there. That game's also on Switch for $25. It's, quote unquote free in the Apple Arcade.
Sure.
Right now. One of the questions I had about it beforehand is, will you be able to buy these games outside of it? You are not at the moment, it seems. Right now, if you try to go buy the games on the iPhone, it basically just says try or get it free, or try it free, one of those two, and then it gets you to sign up for your free month of the subscription. So it doesn't seem like you can get it without being inside of Apple Arcade.
Interesting.
But one kind of sentiment I was hearing was, this is kind of like the first 2 or 3 years of Xbox Live's Summer of Arcade, kind of wrapped up in one day, basically. And I agree with that sentiment. These are some like extremely good, high caliber indie games, for a pretty cheap price, in my opinion. So specifically, the only one I've been playing so much, because I downloaded like 11 to the point that my phone has no more space, so I had to delete some of them. And I want to try and get them done like one at a time, so I can get them off my phone and get a new one in there. So I've only so far played Sayonara Hearts, which is the new game from Simogo, who did similar games, or not similar games, quite different games, Year Walk and Device 6, which I'll talk about shortly. But Sayonara Wild Hearts, it's described as like playing through a music video all about a breakup, and it kind of plays very similar. I'd say thematically, it's a lot like Rez.
Okay.
Where it's all about the visuals, it's all about
that sold me just then.
There is no like, the one difference is you're not scanning over enemies to shoot them. There is shooting in this game, but you're not doing the targeting thing. Don't think about that part. It is basically just kind of like a score, like you just run through trying to get a better score. It's pretty easy to finish the stages. They really just kind of want you to get through and see what they put in this game. The checkpointing is super nice, but if you want to go for like, getting a silver medal, gold medal, you have that to replay it for. Everything's like neon pink, bright blues. And you're just like Sailor Moon transforming, because I don't know why. Sometimes you get a sword and you slice a person in half, and now they're 2 people. There's boss fights that are really good. The music, so Rez had great music. This is Rez but instead of electronic music, it's like super catchy pop music. So the soundtrack is excellent. If you have no way to play this game, at least check out the soundtrack. I'm pretty sure it's on like Spotify and stuff. One of the boss fights was a 3-headed mech wolf that I was chasing down with my motorcycle while just some sweet tunes were blasting at me. Like, Sayonara Wild Hearts is no joke. Do not skip on this game. It is very good. It's on Switch. I think it's like $15 or $20 on Switch. But if you do have an iPad, although I don't think Apple Arcade is coming to iPad yet, I think it's coming soon. If you have an iPhone, at least an iOS device, I cannot recommend enough trying out the free trial on of Apple Arcade just for Sayonara Wild Hearts alone. That is a very cool game. So taking a step back, I mentioned Simogo. I want to talk about Device 6, which was a game that they put out on the phones years ago. It's an interactive, just like an interactive story game. There's very little gameplay, but you're basically reading through the account of you're a girl who's woke up in a strange area, and you're trying to figure out like how you got there and why you're there. So you're just basically reading a story. But Simogo they're kind of known for really utilizing the mobile platform. So there's a lot of stuff of like, as you scroll, it kind of figures out what your reading speed is, and it starts playing audio cues to relate to what you're reading about as you get to that spot. So if it says something like, then she started walking down the stairs, you'll hear footsteps of someone walking downstairs.
Gotcha.
Or a door opening, stuff like that. It also makes you like rotate the phone in different ways for like contextual reasons. You have to like start reading upside down or start reading backwards because maybe you got to like a weird mirror section. It's all kind of presented in this like old school kind of book layout, almost like textbook style layout. And there'll be pictures in there. And that's where kind of the main gameplay comes in, is those pictures. Eventually, if you just keep reading and go straight through, you'll get to some kind of obstacle where just so I don't spoil anything, maybe it's a door that's locked. But there's a keypad on it, so you need to figure out what the code is. You have to then go back through what you just read, inside this chapter, and look at the images and stuff and piece together, okay, wait, did they mention any kind of numbers and stuff like that? And you're kind of putting things together. Sometimes the character will find glasses that you can put on, which makes the whole screen red, but it reveals other things. So there's like an adventure gamey kind of element to this as well. But like I said, the gameplay side of it is pretty minimum. It's a narrative focused game. It's an interactive book basically. So that's pretty cool. That's Device 6. That was by Simogo. It came out years ago. I'd always been wanting to get to it, and then with Apple Arcade coming out, I knew I wanted to play Sayonara, so I was like, I want to play one of their games from before.
Yeah. For me, it was always Year Walk. Yeah. Year
Walk is another one that's in my backlog too. And I want to get to that someday. All right. I also played through Creature in the Well, which is a Game Pass game.
How long is this game? I'm curious.
This game, it's not very long. This is a great game that if you are only going to play your Xbox for like an hour a night because you're hosting your mom and you want to talk about a new game on the next podcast, which is a week later, you can play through Creature in the Well and get it done.
That seems like a specific problem.
Yeah, how on the nose.
So I'm just saying, if that's the scenario you're in.
Okay. So would you say one sitting? My sittings are 4 to 6 hours usually for a game.
Okay, maybe on the long end. I'd say this game's about 6 hours.
Okay.
It also depends how well you're doing. So for those who don't know,
so 10 hours. Got it.
I don't think it's that bad, but this is a pinball dungeon crawler. Which is weird. But as we saw with Yoko's Island Express, pinball can be in lots of forms and it can still be good. Creature in the Well, I think is very good. I actually think the first hour or so is the weakest because you have to kind of learn the weird mechanics.
Right.
First off, world building is awesome. You are the last engineer, I guess, and you're coming to this weird town that is trapped in a sandstorm because some weird, like, huge creature up in the mountain, or in the well, I should say, is creating a sandstorm that is kind of engulfed this town, and when anyone tries to leave, they just end back up in the town.
Damn.
Like, they get lost. And I guess long in the past, like thousands of years ago, they had engineers that were trying to run a machine to keep the town going and living. But they were all taken out when this creature came and killed them all and basically took over the whole thing.
Sure.
So you're the last engineer. You came out of, I don't know, out of nowhere, and you're gonna try and get the thing up and running. So the whole time the creature's like, your kind all failed before. Why would you do better? Blah blah blah.
Right.
So what it works out to is it's an isometric dungeon crawler. You'll come into a screen. The dungeons are made up of 24 screens. They're pretty like square like. At no point does it ever look like pinball, and you do not have flippers. What you have instead is there will be these little glowing orbs that'll either be shot at you or they'll just kind of be stationary for you to go up and hit. I'm gonna go with Xbox controls. By holding down X, you start swinging one of your weapons. You have two weapons. When you're swinging this one weapon, you can kind of collect any orbs that are in your vicinity. So like if something gets shot at you, you can like catch it and hold it. Or if there's one just on the ground, you can pick it up.
Okay.
And then if you hit Y with your other weapon, you will shoot it forward. And so to clear these screens, you need to hit different bumpers. You need to hit different targets to cause different things to happen in the room so that things either stop shooting at you or eventually you can open up the next door, go on to the next room. What's really cool is you get a bunch of different weapons that will do different things. Like the one I ended up using a bunch was anytime I catch an object that has been shot at me, so it's been charged with like a negative energy, I'll gain health. That was super useful. And some of the weapons I liked for my shooting one is I had one that actually made a target appear, so I could better line up my shots, which is super useful when some of them get pretty far away. I had other ones that would split the orb into 3 when I shot out, so I could hit more things at once.
That's pretty cool.
You get a really cool one that when you shoot it, when it hits something, it creates a lightning strike that any other targets nearby will get hit by a little bit of damage. And you kind of have to wear down all these different targets. So like I said, the first maybe dungeon or two is a bit rough because it's getting your mind around the flow of it can be difficult. And surprisingly, they ask you to do some of the most precise shots in that first 2 dungeons.
Weird.
I would try and say that if you're finding it hard, just kind of get past it, get to the 3rd or 4th dungeon. It gets a lot easier. You get a lot better, and the weapons really help because you get better weapons.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. That's pretty cool. You can get different costumes. There's a bunch of fun characters. There's like a frog janitor that'll just tell you stories. There's an alligator person that made all the weapons. It's a really cool and interesting game, and I think it, even though it was like 6 hours, that was still about 8 or 9 dungeons I went through. Because I think each dungeon probably was about 30 minutes to 45.
Okay.
And yeah, I recommend Creature in the Well quite a bit. It's on Game Pass right now.
Yep.
So if you have access to that, go check that out for sure.
Word.
I played a bit of Gears 5 last weekend, not as much as I want to. And it's also the reason I haven't played Borderlands yet, because I want to get through Gears. But I'm in the second act, or second chapter, whatever the longer ones are. I think it's acts are made up of chapters. So I'm in the second act.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to any of like the open world stuff yet, unfortunately. I think I'm just about to do that. But that's a good looking Gears game. That's all I can really say at the moment. I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. And we this weekend should play Horde.
Okay. Give me a time.
I understand. I believe we can play together even if you're on PC and we're on Xbox.
Yep.
I think that's the case. So I don't know if you guys are free tomorrow evening, but me and my friend have some Gears time scheduled. We should play some Horde.
Tomorrow evening,
probably not.
Okay. Never mind then.
Give me any other time.
Any other time. Yeah, we'll find pretty much. We'll figure something out. But I'm looking forward to playing more Gears for sure.
Sure.
The last game I've been playing this week, and I've only played a few hours of it because it just came out, is the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake. Yeah. I'm surprised you guys haven't played yet.
I picked it up. I literally installed it before we went, or as we were waiting to go live.
I'm unemployed, and this is a 20-year-old game I played last year.
Sure.
That's also kind of why it's lower on my priority list, but I still picked it up because it's my favorite Zelda.
Yeah, it's very good. Also, I watched a little bit of somebody play it. I still can't decide if I like how it looks.
I love how it looks.
I still can't decide because sometimes I'm just like, oh, that's cute, and sometimes I'm just like, yeah, that looks fucking stupid. So I don't know.
Please
I don't
stop.
Know I don't know where I lay on it. But the fishing looks great. I can't wait to fish.
Well, I mean, like I said, I really like the art style. John, this is your favorite Zelda?
Yep.
Like over Breath of the Wild?
Yep.
Wow. Why is that? What about...
Because he has good taste.
Link's Awakening was the one I got to play the most. And also, it was... When that game came out, it originally had like a really big glitch that you could activate. So like it's the first game that got me into glitch hunting because some of that stuff was really fun to do, just breaking it apart. So
all right, it's my first Zelda, so I have a special place in my heart for it. But
sure,
I don't. It would not be near my top for sure. There's a lot of other Zeldas I like way more. You can still steal from the shop. It's harder to do this time.
Okay,
but he will still shoot you with a laser, so that's pretty good.
Nice.
Does he still change your name?
That I don't know. I was actually watching a video because I had tried to steal and he wouldn't let me, and I was like, "Is this even doable?" And I looked it up. I did not see if the guy's name got changed. Oh yeah, he calls you Thief, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then your file name changes to Thief.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. There's definitely a lot in this game of me like, if you asked me to remember anything from it, I would have told you, okay, he wakes up on the beach. There's a chain chomp. That's all I can remember.
That's what most people remember, to be fair.
But like as I'm going through it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this. This looks exactly like I remember. Like I just need to see it, and I immediately come back.
The like weird dungeon stuff where you go 2D downstairs. That stuff.
I had totally forgotten about that. And yes, that is there as well. And there's Goombas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening
in the original
Zelda.
It's a weird Zelda.
Also, that claw game is absolute bullshit. Holy shit.
Really? It's not that bad in the original.
Well, I don't remember the original for the claw game, but in this one, it is so awful. So you'll just have to try it out and then let me know what you think. I understand it is like a extremely faithful remake. Everything's like in the exact same place, which is so far lining up to what I remember, because I'm just like, I remember that house did have 2 doors. I don't know why, but yes, I remember that. So
Cool.
I don't know. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I've played maybe 2 hours of it. Not enough. I'll talk more about that next week.
Cool. Glad.
But yes, that's all I've been playing. So let's do some news.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of these are pretty short stories, but John Wick Hex has a release date.
Thank God.
Of October 8th on the Epic Game Store, remember?
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
I already own it because it was on that stupid sale where I was basically being paid to buy it.
Yeah, exactly. I got it. I picked it up too when they took $10 off anything, and it was like, sure.
It was like, oh, this game that hasn't come out yet for like a couple bucks? Yeah, I'll do that.
I mean, I like John Wick. I like Mike Bithell a lot. Like, and this game is, you've discounted it like over half price. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So October 8th. Cannot wait. The Steam library has gotten an update. I haven't seen it myself yet.
Yeah, it's weird.
Is it good? Do you like it?
It'll take getting used to. It's fine. It's more modern looking. Whatever the hell that means.
For the visually impaired, the ones listening to the audio podcast.
Yeah, it's more gray, like lighter grays than not as many dark grays. And on the left, you have like your list of games, and if you click on one of them, the right will just like fill that whole area with like information about that game. So at the very top is like a banner for whatever the dev set it to or whatever to like show off the game. There'll be like your last time you played, how long you've played, how many achievements you have, and then it kind of like mashes in what used to be the community hub for the game from the store page on that page now. So it's kind of more like a social media hub for like these games where you can see like what people are saying or screenshots that like your friends have shared and shit like that.
Right on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking it out. Do you like it? Do you like the change?
I don't frankly care. Honestly.
Yeah.
I use it to like launch a game and then I don't see it, so
you're right. You know, getting upset about video game launchers is silly. And that reminded me of another story.
Yeah.
Rockstar put out a game launcher this week.
I didn't hear this.
Rockstar game launcher. Yeah, they definitely did this. PC game launcher where you can launch Rockstar games. You can also buy whatever the premium currency is. Shark cards, the premium currency for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yo, can I be real with you though? I'm glad, because I hated going to their fucking social club to do anything. I'm glad they have just a launcher for their shit. It's about time.
I think when society collapses, which we know is coming.
Currency will be currency. Yeah. You've literally said this every time we talk about launchers.
Yeah, because they keep making new ones.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm just saying that you're right.
It's like money. They can't just keep making money because that throws off the economy. They're going to have to stop making PC game launchers.
So here's the thing. Apparently I just looked it up. If you download the Rockstar launcher right now, they give you San Andreas on PC for free. So if you want that game...
That's why I saw San Andreas trending. Okay.
Yeah, so if you want that game, you can just download that thing, but I know you guys won't because you complain about everything, so...
I just don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't play that many Rockstar games, so... But I'm still going to install it.
Because you're collecting all the launchers?
I'm collecting every single one, baby. I got a folder of them.
Sony came out and basically said that they own the rights to Sunset Overdrive, which I just thought was kind of interesting, as that was a Microsoft release. But now that Sony owns
Insomniac.
Oh, right.
They now own the Sunset Overdrive IP. I thought that was just something interesting. Keep in the back of your head if we ever see Sunset Overdrive again.
That's fucking weird. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it does, but I never considered it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of why I put there. Is that nobody was really thinking about that.
Yeah.
I just really liked this headline. I haven't read too much about it.
Okay.
Which I'll do that in a second.
Okay.
Kotaku's article said Discord Nitro games are going away next month because most users weren't even playing them.
Sure. Yep. That makes sense.
So I guess you got with Discord Nitro, there was a game subscription inside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave you like 5 or 6 free games a month, basically. And there was a store where you could straight up buy games as well.
That isn't going away. They're not getting rid of the store. They're only getting rid of the free shit.
Right. Isn't Killer Queen a Discord game?
I don't think so.
PC version? I think it may have been, because I think I got offered a code. Let me quickly check my email real fast.
Please do. Because I hope it is. This is going to be so good.
I just got to find the email. Okay.
Oh, that's coming up real soon, too.
Yes. It is on PC via Discord. Oh, Discord and Steam.
So yeah, it's on Steam. Yeah. Okay. And Discord, great. I love it. I have a question because I'm not a Nitro
subscriber.
John is, I know.
John, did you ever play one of these games?
I loaded them up but never actually played them.
Do you have to claim them like you do on the Twitch ones, or like how does it? Yeah, okay.
So I'm sure. Let me go see how many I have claimed versus how many there are still. My library says I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. You can see where this is going. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Jesus Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50.
I mean, I can tell you in this article there's over 100
58.
Games.
I have 58 games.
To almost half of them.
Wow.
Apparently.
I can see why they're getting rid of them. That's a lot to just have available for people that aren't using it.
Right. It basically says, like, instead of renewing the various contracts for this free games for another year, they decided to just end that and remove the games. So I think you're going to lose them. Because they probably go through your Discord launcher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, right.
You have that one, Paul?
What's that?
You have the Discord launcher?
No.
You got to get that one.
Got to get the Discord launcher.
Yep. Oh, and Discord says that any games the users bought through Discord will still be available to play. The only games being removed are the ones included with the Nitro subscription. Weird. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is an accurate list, but just in the screenshot, there's some good games in there.
Yep. There are.
Battle Chef Brigade.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. So there's no point claiming them now, is what you're saying, because they're going to be going away?
That's what it seems like. Yeah. I mean, you could claim them if you're planning to play them, but they're going away any day now.
Okay.
Are you gonna? So is that going to make you cancel your subscription?
I'm not paying for my subscription. I'm a partnered server. I got Nitro for free.
Whoa, dude. Sweet.
Oh, hey, Kingsway was one of the free games.
Kingsway was one of the free ones. Yep. Paladins, but that's free for everyone. So, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. These two are from Discord, so I really don't know much about them. But this one says the Offspring will perform in World of Tanks, and it's officially a trend.
Yeah.
This comes hot on the heels of... Oh, who was it? Who played in...
Korn.
Linkin Park.
No, it was Korn. It wasn't Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Did Linkin Park do something as well?
Linkin Park is dead. Chester died.
That's okay. I mean, that is true. But
unless it was like years ago.
Where was Korn performing in?
Oh my god, what the hell is that?
Oh, it was like Adventure Quest 3D.
It was Rift or something like that.
Yeah.
So I guess World of Tanks is gonna have an Offspring performance.
Great. It already happened, I think. Yeah, it happened on the 18th.
Oh man, we just missed it.
We missed it. That kind of sucks. I would have maybe loaded that up to see that.
What? I don't know. Does World of Tanks have a non-battle component to it? Is there like a social hub or something? Like, or a bunch of tanks mid-match rolling up to a concert?
I don't know. I'm
It
going to
must
look
have
up
a
a
hub,
video right
right?
now.
At
Because
some
otherwise,
point,
people would just be like firing off tanks during the concert.
it's kind of awesome. But I'm
That
just
is kind of awesome. You're not
at some
wrong.
point, starting tomorrow, September 18th, the band will be performing on a stage in the game, and players will be able to access it through the garage.
Oh, it's like, okay. This is weird. Okay, so it's like when you load up the game, it brings you, think of like Fortnite or something, where it brings you to like your player's screen, and then at the top it's like play now, and then like a bunch of like, this is how many medals you have or whatever and options. It's on that main screen as like the background image, so instead of like a screen of like your tank or whatever, it's a screen of Offspring like rocking out and the songs playing.
That's hilarious.
This is stupid. Holy shit. I know it's gonna like break the video for a second.
I'm looking at like they have the track list or the set list on the left there.
I just gave you a link.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at. Yeah.
God, it's so stupid.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Gone Away. That's like a bang. That's one of my favorites, actually. All I Want is very good. Kids Aren't All Right. You're gonna go far, kid, to wrap it up. This is a good set list for, 5 things during a video game. I can't tell if they're real or if they're animated.
Just repeat the same set list?
What's that?
They are definitely not real. They are animated for sure. So that's how they can like repeat the set list, is they just played the song again.
Yeah.
Like, look at the drummer. The drummer's not doing like anything.
Yeah, that's true. Look at him. I love it. Oh, it's so good. The corn thing was way better than this.
It was, because that was at least like in the game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what was the Fortnite one? There was a Fortnite one, wasn't there?
Oh, that's John Wick.
That was, no, it wasn't John Wick. It was Marshmallow.
Yes, you're right. It was Marshmallow. Video games are weird, man.
Yeah, they're weird. That's true.
I blinked and then video games got weird. Okay, and this next one, which definitely required more reading before putting it in here. French court says Valve must allow Steam users to resell games. Right. I had skimmed this a little bit, and I guess this had started back in 2015. The French consumer organization called UFC, would that be Q Crassier? I butchered that name. They wanted to make it so that Valve, technically, that users in Steam can resell their digital games, which would be pretty substantial since no one can do that anywhere.
Right.
I guess Steam came to them saying that their defense is that they're a subscription service. That was not found to be compelling, which I would not call Steam a subscription service.
Agreed.
So I'm surprised they went with that route. The court did declare that users should be allowed to resell their games. I understand it's not fully all the way there yet. They need to go through another layer of something.
Yeah, I'm reading this over quickly. Apparently, a big portion of this is the fact that you can like refund your games or whatever, but if you have any money in your Steam wallets, Valve doesn't pay you out. They just keep it. So that's the thing that they hate.
Like a second component of this, and it seems like they ruled that Valve would have to reimburse.
Yeah.
People. which is also interesting because that doesn't happen anywhere else either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like a real world equivalent of that.
So is this an EU thing where, like, depending what type of shop you have, you need to give people the ability to resell? Or, like, I guess I don't understand what their footing for this is, but then again, I don't know French, like, law or whatever, so I know nothing about France, really. So, like, I'm just wondering why they are focusing on this. And do they focus this sort of thing on, like, GOG and other sellers like that? Like, how does Ubisoft get away with stuff like this, too? Unfortunately, this article that we have here doesn't actually, like, answer any of my questions specifically. So I don't know what their problem against Steam specifically is. And
yeah, well, I'm assuming it's just because the Steam was big enough that this organization went after Steam. So that's probably why we're not seeing it with like GOG or Ubisoft, just because they're not as big of a major player in the PC storefront space. But I guess the short end of the stick here is nothing's happened yet. It still has to go through another. Like Valve is planning to appeal, so it still has to go through that.
I don't like this line here. Valve must now also accept responsibility when users say an item on Steam caused them harm, even if it's in beta.
Oh, God, no.
Valve's rights to users, mods, and community content will also be diminished, and the company will have to clarify the conditions under which users can lose access to Steam for poor behavior. So they are literally just saying, like, well, Steam, you have to take responsibility for everything. That's fucked up.
Which means that's going to be the end of early access.
That's going to be the end of Steam in, like, the EU, probably. So, get it while it's hot, guys.
Well, I don't know. I think this is what it's saying is, like, Steam needs to have some form of moderation on what they're allowing in their store. I think that's what they're kind of saying.
If that's what they're saying, then that's great. But that's probably not the way it's going to be legally taken.
Well, I'm trying to understand what they mean by an item on Steam caused them harm.
Right. Yep.
Clearly, that wouldn't be physical harm, right?
It could be because it could be something with like seizure-inducing lights.
Okay, let's use that as an example then. That should be something Steam is saying, hey, don't put seizure-inducing lights in your game.
No. That should be what the developer says is in the game. Steam is just a store. I can go to a store and buy a knife. They don't have to tell me to not stab my brother with it.
But, I mean, if it's a gun, there's layers you have to go through to even get the gun.
If we're going to go with that argument, you know as well as anybody in the States, it depends on where you live, literally. In Canada, you're right. But
right,
there are places where you can just buy a gun.
In this scenario, they're trying to put up more walls. So, I mean, I think it should be on Steam's side to say, you know, if you're going to put your seizure-inducing lights in the game, maybe one avenue is we're not going to sell your game. Or two, it's like, well, then we're going to put up a bunch of red flags before people can buy your game. Like, I think that's what they're trying to say. And I think what they're saying is, like, the responsibility would go then to Steam. It's because Steam is allowing to sell a possibly seizure-inducing game, basically.
But the thing is, I mean, we all know Steam isn't allowing it so much as they're not moderating it.
Right, and that's what I mean. I think what they're trying to say is that Steam needs to put some kind of moderation. And I mean, if this passes where Steam is going to become liable for some things, then they're going to have to, or they're just going to keep getting hit.
Yep. In which case, they probably just will stop serving that region, I would assume, because it would make more sense.
That region or specific games or both.
Specific game, yeah, or both, exactly.
Yeah, you're probably right. I would assume it would be probably just the specific games. Because I think of like isn't there like a lot of free-to-play stuff for games with loot boxes now that are just not in some European countries because they have a loot box ban now?
Sure,
something like that.
Yeah, and I think this will honestly, I think this will just lead to like, hey, indie devs, Did you like using Steam? Fuck you. We can't trust you. And you know what? Maybe we need to tighten the screws a little bit and just like Steam needs to actually curate what they put on their platform, because holy fuck.
Right. I mean, I think this comes out on both sides.
Yeah.
And again, if we go back to the seizure-inducing lights example, devs should not be putting that in the game without extremely disclosing that.
Sure, yeah.
And then B, Steam should be like, we don't feel comfortable selling games that might hurt our consumers.
Oh, Steam doesn't care about that, but yes, you're right.
All right, that's it for news.
Okay. Oh, cheap games. Epic. They showed off what's that Batman thing is, and it's a bunch of games. It's the Arkham trilogy and the Lego Batman trilogy.
Okay, so we were like both right.
You were both
so I think
right.
I said the Batman games.
Yeah. So
I think I said the
I think the Arkham games, it comes with all the DLC as well.
Yep. So that's a lot of Batman content.
That's 6 Batman games you can get for free on Epic. And
Game Pass for PC, Shadow Warrior 2, and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Believe
Bloodstained
it
is also console. I'm curious why you only did PC.
Because I don't care about console.
All right. Then I'll just add on Bloodstained is also on the console, as well as Jump Force is free on the console too.
Which console?
Xbox. This is Game Pass.
Oh,
Game Pass. Yeah. This makes me not want to buy games until like I know Game Pass won't have it a month later. But yeah.
I mean that is definitely there. I feel like for years you could always have don't buy on launch day because it'll get discounted significantly a month later. Like that is a viable thing you could do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to some questions. If you want to send in questions, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. This first one comes from Kevin. What game has the slowest bullets?
Mario.
Super Hot.
Super Hot.
He's probably right with Super Hot, right?
Because you can control how fast it is.
I was going to say, is it the bullets going slow, or are you just slowed down and they're going in real time, and that's what you see at the end of each stage?
I think even when you're standing still, they still move a tiny bit, don't they?
They do. No. Yep. They definitely do.
What a philosophical question. But yeah, Super Hot.
That's true. Yeah, Super Hot's probably the right answer.
Yep. Matthew writes, if you were characters in a fighting game, what would your default and alt costumes be?
Well, that's easy for me. Default would just be me with like a hoodie, my hat, and jeans on, and my alt would just be one of my like fan art girl versions, and that would be it. Done and done. Bam. Yeah. Nice and easy.
Yeah, no, mine's not as easy to answer. I don't know, probably gym clothes, because I'd want to be able to move freely. Alt costume.
Like a recolor.
Yeah, I'd be super lame, just a recolor. Yeah, that does suck. What about you, Paul?
Hat, zipped up hoodie. Alt would be shaved face rather than.
Ooh.
Okay, and I'll do has the beard. That's nice. That's good. John, do you want to take this one from Sarcasm?
Sarcasm writes in and says, I've been playing Kind Words, the former Humble Bundle exclusive where you write brief messages to strangers in hopes of relieving, whether by a little or a lot, whatever is troubling them. However, I can't really consider it a video game in the proper sense, more just an online forum with a bit of interactivity. Are there any video games that you really enjoy but admit they aren't really great examples of what the medium is capable of? Hard mode, no visual novels.
Okay.
I feel like we could change the wording on this a little bit, because I can think of a lot of games. Because I feel like what he's trying to say is, are there any video games that you really enjoy, but they're not very gamey? Is kind of the crux of this question, right?
So is this where we say walking simulators, like?
What I was gonna say is, however, because he put aren't great examples of what the medium is capable of, I can think of a lot of really gamey games that are not great examples of what video games are. And we call those bad games. This is weird because like I love walking simulator games a lot of the time. Those are some of my favorite games. Have very little,
And I like
gamey.
visual novels because they have good writing, but like,
Yeah, usually, yep.
Yeah.
But that's I mean, you don't have to play on hard mode.
What if we play
just
on
all.
extreme mode and say no visual novels or walking simulators?
Okay. Then I'm going to
Period.
say, God, I don't even remember what the name of that game was. Ninja something, and it was all QuickTime events.
Oh, Ninja Blade.
I was going to say Asura's Wrath for roughly the same thing.
You shut your goddamn mouth.
It's a movie.
No, you're great. I thought about that too, and I thought, oh, Ninja Blade's even more so than that.
Ninja Blade is really bad.
I don't know if it's really bad. It's dumb.
It's bad.
I think it's the most cutscene or QuickTime heavy game I can think of outside of a David Cage game. And then I ask you, how does David Cage games fit into this?
It doesn't.
Because I wouldn't really call them walking simulators, would you? I guess they kind of are. I don't know.
No, but he's saying any video games you really enjoy, and that, and I don't think I really enjoy David Cage games. I just kind of either ironically enjoy them or just like see what it could have been and then get sad.
I would say I solidly enjoy them. I wouldn't say really enjoy, but I would say I solidly enjoy them.
Okay.
But you are right. I guess if I have to assume, like, it has to be a game I'm saying that I really enjoy, then I would go back to Asura's Wrath.
Asura's Wrath is probably the answer. I'm trying to think of some others.
I would say Metal Gear, but that's like half and half. Because it still has actual gameplay to it.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at because the cutscenes are so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of game in there though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, like a super easy answer, and these aren't even games I really enjoy, but like, what are the like tapping games where the numbers just go up?
Oh,
Auto clickers, cookie clicker.
Clickers, that's the genre.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird because I mean, all these games I would call video games. So
yeah, I think the crux of his message are what are games that aren't games that are kind of neat, because Kind Words is kind of like a video game, but it's not a game because you don't play, you type to people.
But then I would counter you is like, who's to say that's not playing?
Me.
Typing in the dead is typing to people. They just happen to be dead, but you're typing to them.
Well, you're typing to kill them again, so I don't know if that's the best example.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read this next one from Jacket K. Do you think we'll ever get Pikmin 4?
Yeah, probably.
I think so. I think so as well.
I don't remember how less.
We got another Metroid game, and that franchise was basically dead for a decade. So
true.
The Switch is hot. They could probably put like anything on it, and it would probably sell a decent amount. Yeah, I like those Pikmin games.
VGC Kenny says, what video game would you describe as being the most video game, or the video game that is pure amalgamation of video game ideas? And I feel like I played this recently, and I can't remember what it was.
WarioWare.
Roof game Duty Calls. Did any of you play that?
I forgot about Duty Calls. That was great. Oh man. Now that's the correct answer. I was gonna say WarioWare.
WarioWare.
I mean, again, I think there's two sides of this. Is it the most game that is like the game? Here is the game, or is it the game that has the most gamey elements in it? Because that's where I got Duty Calls from. Whereas the first one, I would be like Tetris, Mario, like the game. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I'm going through my list of things I played like kind of recently because I remember playing a game and just being like, there's so many different. Like, there's a crafting mechanic, there's, like, survival, there's, like, every fucking thing that makes a video game in this thing. And I'm trying to find what game that was.
State of Decay.
Say it again. What was it you were talking
about? I'm looking for it. Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Although, at this point, I think the game is, like... what the Assassin's Creed franchise turned into, because like Odyssey just has everything in it.
Let's see. Bloodstained had a lot of gamey shit in it. A lot of gamey shit. What else do we have?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand how we would like rank these in terms of like this one is more gamey than the others. Like, are we talking about like button inputs? Like you hit something on the controller and something happens on screen? Because then like, yeah, WarioWare's got to be up there. But then I guess so does Tetris, right? I could also argue like Guitar Hero's up there because you're hitting a lot of buttons.
Did he give... I don't remember because I have the memory of a goldfish. Did he give any examples? No, he just asked. Video... Being the most video game. Mega Man.
I still think it's like something just like Mario.
I still say WarioWare.
Okay. Then John, you are up.
Final Insanity says, "What do you do when you need motivation?" Sleep.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Sleep. Okay.
Motivation to do what?
Well, I think it's like anything. Like if
that might be an
you're-
anything kind of question answer.
Yeah, like if you're feeling lazy but you have like chores to do or something.
Yeah, I would say either rest or like I'll just like listen to music and just kind of recenter myself.
Put on a banger. I was gonna say usually eating food because that kind of gets some like calories and sugar into me, and then especially if I'm feeling kind of sleepy about it, that kind of wakes me up and I'm up doing something. I think that's also key to it, is getting up and like moving around.
Yeah.
Because I know when I have a my desk at work is one of those ones that can convert from a standing desk to a sitting desk.
Nice. Yeah.
And you know, if I'm sitting down for too long, I can get like too comfortable and then I'll start feeling sleepy. So I'll try and be like, okay, I'm going to switch to standing up because that won't let me fall asleep at that point. Like I'm getting blood moving.
I don't know if they're being sincere or sarcastic in the chat saying listen to TDP or whatever, but I actually listen to podcasts when I have to clean and stuff all the time. And it just helps having like kind of the background noise to do something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're saying like TDP gives me motivation to do laundry. I am constantly playing a podcast while I'm folding laundry because that's one of the worst chores.
Or doing dishes or vacuuming, like all of it. I listen to stuff for sure.
Dead in Sky writes a lot. Okay. In this day of age of high-speed communication, do you think that the indie market could ever experience the levels and the effects of oversaturation that plagued the early 90s American video game market? That's the first part.
The indie market specifically?
Well, what is he saying? There's going to be so many indie games that there's going to be a crash and they'll stop making indie games?
So here's the thing. If that was going to happen, that happened a few years ago.
Well, I don't think that would happen because a lot of these indie games are doing it because they just love it. It's not an issue of a consumer versus like price thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if it was going to, I agree that it's not. If it was going to, it would have happened years ago when it seemed like every like big game was an indie release for a while there, and it didn't. So, no.
All right, the next part. Speaking of oversaturation, some game franchises shoot themselves in the foot by releasing too many games too fast. However, the biggest example that comes to mind, Guitar Hero Rock Band, is one I'm starting to doubt actually represents this trend well. Yes, they released so many games, so many of those games in the mid to late 2000s, but I don't know if the instrument controller trend could have lasted longer if they had released less games. Any of the Toys to Life games recently had yearly releases at worst, and those only lasted a few years before being unprofitable and canned. And when Guitar Hero / Rock Band had a reboot a few years ago, it flopped hard. So with that all being said, why do you think this type of game died out, and what is a better candidate for franchise oversaturation?
Holy shit, that's a lot to
it died out because it died out because that shit was taking up too much space. That's it. Rock Band setups take too much space
for in the stores, and that, I think that's partially, why it flopped when they came back is because stores were like, "Oh no, we've been down this. No, thank you."
Yeah, exactly.
I also think there was a lot of stuff of like, "Oh, I already bought Rock Band back in the day. I'm not gonna rebuy everything for new consoles again. I already
Also that.
no, thank you."
So
I already had
supposedly
the
they had some part you could buy, so you didn't have to do that. But apparently, like it was the hardest thing to find. So they also
Yeah,
shot
and I
themselves in the
remember
foot with
following
that.
that kind of stuff, and it was like a slow rollout of like which platforms were being supported, and also you needed to have specific of the instruments. Like if you had a first gen set of drums, like for first gen set of instruments, the ones that plugged in, which I did because I got it on launch or close to launch. There was no way they were going to get it over there. But the wireless ones, they did put out an adapter slowly. And I'm sure plenty of people were like, I already went through like having this in my closet for too long and then finally getting rid of it. I'm not buying a whole new set. No, thank you.
Yeah. It's too bad too, because in a digital age, it would be nice to have just one set that you would have had and then continuously get music for it forever.
Right.
But,
I mean, they
Well, that was what Guitar Hero Live was supposed to be.
They tried to, yeah. And they tried it too late, I think, though.
Live ended up on my top 10 that year. That was cool. Rock Band, they are still putting out DLC for it. Yeah. And I do still have my drums set up because it is still a great time at parties.
Sure, yeah.
So then his follow-up one there is, what is a better candidate for franchise oversaturation? I guess it's just sports games, right? Because like they've done it.
It would have been no. Here's the thing: it was sports games back when there were more multiple companies doing like. There was like say when like 2K was doing both football and basketball and everything, while EA was also doing it.
Right.
At that point, that was hitting oversaturation. But then it became only one company does one sport basically, so then it evened out. And I wouldn't say once a year is oversaturation. I guess if it's not really only incremental improvements.
Right. I guess that's the reason I kind of put it in there, even though it is a yearly thing. It is such a small change that it feels like it feels more like, why is this coming out again, kind of thing. Okay. Well, if not sports, do you have another idea?
That's the problem. I feel like the let's see the genre. The gaming industry kind of just goes in like little bursts of where they'll oversaturate a game type and then it'll go away. Like Battle Royale had it for a while. MMOs had it for a while.
I mean, Battle Royale still has it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, and I think that's how like markets work, right? Something's hot, so everyone has to make a buck off.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any kind of like series or anything that come out more often than once a year.
Very few.
Yeah, I can't think of any, and I think if what the form of that now is are live games where every 3 months there's a new season.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yep.
And that makes me think like, well, if they have this fan base that is buying seasonal updates, clearly it's not oversaturated.
So is your actual comment that no game is oversaturated?
At the moment,
no franchise anyway. Fortnite's definitely oversaturated for different reasons.
It's easy to say like Fortnite is extremely big, like uncomfortably big, but at the same time, it's like we've just been like waiting for this bubble to pop year after year.
Sure.
Is it like, I don't know, what do you guys think anything is oversaturated at the moment?
I'm kind of okay.
Not really.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Like I said, I would, if genre-wise, I would have said BRs and that's about it currently, because Battle Royale's evened out. Or it's not Battle Royale's, MMO's evened out, rather.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would have to be something in hindsight, right? Something that we saw become oversaturated. So I'm trying to think what fizzled out recently. In that case, I almost could say Battle Royales because everyone has tried it and a lot of them have failed.
I think it's fizzling out for sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's hard for me to say that because I see things like Apex comes out this year and it's doing just fine. They're about to start their 3rd season.
Yeah. I don't know. It's becoming like a side mode for a lot of games too. Like maybe as a genre itself, it's kind of fizzling out.
I think it's companies trying to be like, well, we have this series. How
Right.
do we get a battle royale mode in there? We don't
Like,
want to
built
turn
in.
it into a battle royale, so we're gonna have to do a side mode like Call of Duty.
Homer's right. Auto chess was the last one.
That's a pretty one. Has it fizzled out yet? I feel like we're still in it.
Yeah, we're still in it.
Yeah.
But like that's the current one, I guess. Last was the wrong word. That's the current one.
Can I say vaping?
Sure. You can say whatever you want.
Okay,
You're the one editing the podcast. So.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and Dead in Sky's last question: what games do you own the most copies of?
Oh man, I had an answer to this the other day. There was some game I had 5 copies of, but they were all on different systems.
I have a lot of
copies.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have 4 copies of Burnout Paradise, including the remaster.
Oh yeah, okay.
Is saying Street Fighter 2 cheating?
Yes.
All right, fine.
Because each edition is a little different. But
does that change? Does that mean I can't say my remaster?
See, that's where things get
started. This is
because
weird.
It's a remaster, it's the same game as before.
I'm uncomfortable with this question.
I mean, even if I can't say the remaster, that's still 3 copies of that game, of like its launch copy. So that's still a lot for me.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? That's probably a lie. I probably own Super Mario World on every platform I have, whether I bought it or not. It got given to me in some way. So it's probably Super Mario World.
Mega Man X, probably. I think I own that on every system, including the Wii U that it's out on.
Okay.
For me, apparently it's either Ikaruga or Prince of Persia. I have 5 versions of each.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Right on.
Okay. VGC Kenny says, John, a little over 7 years ago, you were a guest on Retsu Talk podcast when it was stated that if you played a game a day, you would be completely caught up on your backlog in a little over 7 years. As it is now a little over 7 years, are you caught up?
Sorry, John, you knew someone had to do it. No, I didn't, because that was 7 years ago. I don't even remember being on the podcast, let alone staying.
So this is obviously not a serious question. Let's move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's like,
and the answer is very clearly no.
His job is literally the fact that he'll never catch up on his backlog.
I never beat a game a day for 7 years because eventually that would become impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Linebeck says, what's a game art style that you feel you could never get tired of?
Okami.
I was going to say, if it's done well, cell shading. So Jet Set Radio, Okami.
Cell shading too. Yeah. Cell shading is real nice. I'm a little tired of like pixel art.
Yep.
But every now and then a game comes out where they do it a little bit differently in a really like nice way. Like I think of like Dead Cells.
It's always beautiful to me, but I'm still tired of it.
I can kind of see that. Yeah. It's like a bittersweet thing.
Yep.
Rasterman, can you recall a game where the art style for the... I don't even understand this question, by the way.
Okay.
Can you recall a game where the art style for the main cast was so different from the rest of their world that it caught your attention or otherwise broke the game's immersion?
Oh, no, I get that. That's not many games to pull from, but yeah.
Is this like... Okay, am I interpreting this right? Hotel Dusk? Then have you guys seen that game at least?
Yeah.
I've played it.
I've played it, yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
I can't remember that game very well.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
I always look at like the Fist of the North Star way, where everyone that's a main character is fucking ripped and has like perfect hair and everything, and then literally everyone else in the world is like old or like is just decrepit and barely surviving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I always found it funny. It's like you can be like, that's a main character right there. We're fighting that person today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So does that break your immersion?
No, well, it becomes part of the immersion for me.
Yeah, I don't really have a great answer for this, Paul.
I don't have a great answer. I'm just remembering all the times, like in specifically Final Fantasy VII, where everybody in Midgard was just like gray or brown and kind of in the background, and your character stood out like a fucking sore thumb because you have a girl in bright pink, you have a girl in white with like the black shorts, and then you have whatever the fuck Cloud looked like as his shitty little polygon character, and they just like were so stark and different that it didn't feel like a world like that they lived in, more just like backgrounds they were walking around a lot of times. Next, I think I'm next. Where are we?
Yep.
Zombie Twinkies says, after finishing all the seasons of Telltale's Walking Dead, I felt very connected to Clementine's character. What characters would you say you guys felt the most connected with, and why?
The ones that come to mind for me are characters that I've played a lot of their games, so I've just spent a lot of time with them. So Phoenix Wright jumps out for
Marcus
me.
Phoenix Wright, yeah.
Marcus Phoenix, yeah.
Marcus Phoenix, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Trying to think of games I played.
Pretty much, yeah. Any game that's had multiple characters or like multiple entries, really,
with the same character.
I am surprised you would have said Marcus Phoenix, because I just feel like those games don't do a great job of any kind of characterization besides wear a do-rag and then yell. I can see the Clementine answer being good, since that game is all about like we are going to get super personal and intimate with these characters.
Sure. I'm gonna give a cheat answer while I think of a normal answer and say any MMO, because your character is an extension of you in every way.
Okay, yeah. See, I would have gone the opposite, since those characters are usually just like an empty vessel, and it's like, I don't know, they're just like a thing.
That's why you connect with them, because you are them. I'm trying to think of an act. Oh, Solid Snake, like 100%. I've been with that guy forever.
Okay. I think of like the characters in some RPGs, just because those games are so long, and a lot of RPGs will do a lot of like character developing scenes off to the side, like specifically the Tales of games. They'll just have like random conversations that you can initiate. So I think of like Tales of Symphonia and Tales of Vesperia specifically, just because I know those characters so well.
Ash Ketchum.
Yeah,
I hear that guy won the Pokemon League.
About
finally.
Like
the collective internet was excited.
Yes.
Yep.
John, you want to read this last one?
All right, from Lucas. I have a question about the Final Fantasy VII remake. Will all the parts get released for the PlayStation 4, or will future parts be on the PS5 only? Will the PS5 get a port of Part 1, or just on some sort of collection after all parts are released? This is actually a fair question.
I don't know.
It's literally just going to depend on the release schedule for it, because right now we don't know when PS5 drops. We just know we're going to learn about it next E3.
Yep.
Well, I think it's pretty. I think we can kind of greatly assume it's next holiday, right? I'm pretty sure they'll follow what they did with the last lineup, where they'll basically announce them at E3. It's on sale this holiday. I bet all parts do come out on PS4.
Even then, I think, you know what? I think he kind of half had it right. I think all parts will come out on PS4, and then they'll do a collection on PS5.
Okay.
See, I think of it like this. What if one, let's say it's broken up into 3 parts, just to put a number on it, okay? And let's say they come out once a year. That might be too much or too soon. But just for argument's sake, let's say they come out once a year. So we have one coming out in the spring, consoles coming out in the fall, and then part 2 comes out in the following spring. I bet they start simultaneously releasing them together. like the PS5 one, they're not going to wait for the collection because they're going to want people to like finish the game or to move over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like part 1 would come out on PS4, and then when PS5 comes out, I don't know if it's a launch title, but they get a part 1 out on the as a PS5 version. Or what would be really cool is that idea of like you buy the game in one spot and it works on whatever console you have in that ecosystem. So like, hey, you bought Final Fantasy VII, it works on both the PS4 and the PS5. It's just you own Final Fantasy VII. Like, why not?
Yep.
And with the talks of like Microsoft saying that the Xbox One controllers are going to be forward compatible, that just makes sense to me, man.
I hadn't heard that. That's actually smart.
Isn't that extremely cool?
That is, yeah.
Yeah. So I would not be surprised if, honestly, I feel like Microsoft would do that at this point, since they seem to be the ones kind of making all the cool plays
they're
here.
They're at a point where they need to make the plays, really.
Is I could see them being like, you buy the game and it's going to work on any like Microsoft product you have, whether it's an Xbox One or it's an Xbox 2, or whatever it is.
Yep.
And maybe the Xbox 2 version is more expensive because you're going to get more Ps in your 1080p's or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they kind of even did that with the last generation. You could like pay $10 and get like an upsell. Remember that? I think that was on the PlayStation.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I can't remember what console it was, but some of them were like, yeah, it was like $10 more, and you could get the new you could like get a license for the new consoles version. Anyway, that's gonna do it for games. For questions, I mean, and for games. Games are over.
Games are done.
If you want to send in a question for next week, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What's your game of the week?
Blasphemous.
River City Girls.
This is so hard.
Yep. Choose which child you like more.
Yeah, it's between Creature in the Well or Sayonara Hearts. And I'm going to go with Creature in the Well.
Oh, gross.
Yep.
What a mistake.
He'll remember that.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul?
I said it. Blasphemous.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Couple things to note. The latest TDP Plus poll for October is now live for the next week. So if you haven't voted, go over there and vote to help pick what we are going to talk about and play through next month. And if you haven't already listened to our Eagle Island episode, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but go check it out because that is live. We did that after last week's show. So go check that out. And that'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.